Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host.
Aaron.
And we're live on a Saturday night, ready to do some podcasting. Found us everywhere you get podcasts. Search the Blackout Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews. The official weapon of the show starts with an F.
Folding chair.
And the unofficial sport.
Bullet ball.
And bullet ball. Extreme. Of course, leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. It does our world wonders, guys. Makes us feel great. Make them nice.
Yep.
Okay, that's all we ask. 5 stars and nice.
5 stars and
you
nice.
don't like us, you don't like the show, don't leave us any reviews. Leave us alone. What are you doing listening to this? Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Leave. Turn us off.
Ain't nobody begging you to listen. You ain't doing us no favors.
And go on, get out of here.
Yeah.
And also, if you left us a review, leave us a review again. And like I said before, we don't care how we get the 5-star reviews. Steal your kids' account.
Steal somebody's phone.
Take one of your kids' phone, log in on their stuff. And I know I don't like Apple. You ain't got no excuse now because now you can sign up and you ain't got to even use an Apple product.
Yeah, you can go to the website. You can go search Apple Podcasts online and still sign up and leave us a 5-star review. Take your grandmama's, she's sick, she's laying on the deathbed. Take her phone. Go in her purse. Steal her phone. Leave us a 5-star review.
Y'all know she
with
don't
her
even know
phone.
what a podcast is.
She don't know. She don't gotta know. Okay. She probably ain't got you in the will anyway. You know you the bad son. You the bad daughter. You the bad child. Just go ahead and take it. Okay. We need these 5-star reviews. Okay. You got a kid. Okay. You got a mistress. Leave us a 5-star review on their phone. We don't give a fuck how we get it. We just need that.
We just need it.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the show. Plenty of stuff to talk about. We did set up our storefront, but I haven't finished setting it up, linking it to everything and stuff. But we'll try to, listener suggested we create an Amazon storefront to suggest books and stuff that we, products, things that we swear by. And I guess we get a small percentage if you guys buy stuff from there. So we'll try to do the work to finish doing all that. And we'll let you guys know when that's done. Karen, do you have any banter?
I do.
All right. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Banter. Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter. All right, Karen. Give us the banter.
Okay. For this one, Saturday morning, I woke up early, and I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk, and I went for a walk, and I'm very, very proud of myself. And the biggest reason why I'm proud of myself, I just started doing some real deep self reflection, and sometimes you kind of get in your own mind about things, and sometimes it'll prevent you from doing some of the things you got to do. I know you have talked to me about this before, and I get in my own mind about actually getting out and exercising on a regular basis and doing things on a regular basis, because I will do it, but I don't do it consistently, and that's been a big issue for me. And I've realized a lot of it is I've been sitting back and I've been admiring you from afar, because you've been very dedicated to working out and going to the gym and all that type of stuff, and I've been benefiting from those things. And it's one of those things where I know it might sound silly, but it's a comparison. But when I went for my walk, and the thing is, when I went for the walk, I went when I first woke up, because everybody is kind of different, and I am the type of person, when I get up, I'm like, let's go ahead and get this shit over with, because I know me, as the day goes on, as shit progresses, as you get busy, as you want to do other things, for me, I'm less likely to squeeze it in. Like, I'll always make an excuse. I would rather do something else. So when I woke up that Saturday morning, I cracked my eyes and I was like, get up. And it was like a mental thing. I was like, get up right now and do it. Because then you have the rest of your day to do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to sleep, if you want to rest, you want to do nothing, whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do it. Because everybody's a mentality towards those things are different. And so what I realized, and also when I went for the walk, I walked for like 20 minutes, but I went at a slow pace, but enough to get my heart rate up, because the thing is, I didn't want to tire myself out where I wouldn't want to be dedicated to it. Because sometimes you can be like, what I'm going to do is just go harder, you wear yourself out. You be like, why the fuck am I here again? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been through that. And so I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to be steady. I'm going to do a schedule that I know that I am going to be more willing to keep and be more dedicated to it and make it like a habit. And for the first time ever, I kind of broke through that wall of comparing what I used to do to what I'm doing now. The past is the past. And the thing is, I have to start with where I'm at right now, and that's all that matters. Where I'm at right now is what matters. And what I can do right now is what matters. What I used to could do don't matter, but I can look forward to what I can do, because actually, my goal is to be consistent about the walking, and then gradually build up where I go back to the why. And then my goal is actually not trying to find to get a personal trainer too, so that I can like build the muscles and do that type of thing like what you're doing. Because at first I was like, well, why do I want to be like him, kind of, even though I want to be you, but like why I began to ask myself, why was I trying to quote unquote mimic you? And it wasn't really mimicking, it was more comparison. But the thing is, that's a choice in a journey that you took, and so I have to do it my own way, and my way ain't gonna look like your way. And so I had to get out of my own head with that.
I think also comparison is a thief of joy for a reason. You're living your own life in your own body, and you can also compare yourself to what you used to have, and it can stall you out. For me, during the pandemic, before the pandemic, I played basketball 4 to 5 times a week, an hour or two every day that I played. And in addition to it just being a lot of fun, I was in better like shape as far as, my cardiovascular system and blood sugar, all this type of stuff that no matter how people felt what they looked at me and was like, oh, right, he's fat, like it's like that's fine, but me and my doctor got this, we got this together,
right?
So don't worry about that. But during the pandemic I wasn't playing basketball, and so then of course that stuff starts to add up. We're older now, so your right, body has different adjustments that it's going through,
and different needs.
Yeah, things are slowing down, changing, whatever. And so after a few, and the pandemic was how long is this gonna last? Like, yeah, is this gonna be a month? Is this gonna be a year? Is it gonna be 2 years? Is this the rest of our fucking lives? Are we never going outside?
Right.
And it was depressing and all that stuff mentally. And even when vaccines came, of course, there were people that things had changed. People were working from home, so now we can't play basketball together. People are not able to come to the Y in the middle of the day and play lunch. It's been years since we got that group together, and so right, I had to start from zero. And what I imagined of myself and my health and my physical fitness and exercise, was me playing basketball for the last 20 so years of my life, right, every day or just about. And instead it turned into like, okay, so I guess I'm going for a walk. And the walk doesn't feel the same as basketball. In addition to being kind of boring, mentally, it also is just not taxing the same way. You're not stopping and starting the same way. It's not other goals that are distracting you from that fact that you're running. Right. So, there's no camaraderie. You're not talking to teammates. There's no talking on the sideline, resting between games, stuff like that. I used to look at my Fitbit and Apple Watch and shit after I played basketball, and it's like, oh, you ran this many miles, and it's like it didn't feel like it.
Right.
If I tried to go run that many miles right now, I I would end up stopping halfway through because I'm like, I'm fucking bored, or I'm tired, or I just like, I'm not distracted enough. You know, there's no amount of music that can distract me enough to make me realize I'm not running. Anyway, all that shit to say, I had to stop comparing myself to that. And before I went to my trainer and did all this other stuff, I was doing stuff on my own before that. I was going to the Y again, and I was walking again. I was shooting around playing basketball by myself again. And nowhere near what I was able to do before, but I just was doing something.
Right.
And then I didn't get the personal trainer until about 8-9 months past when I first started just going and walking on my own. So all that to say, you know, I didn't start with, I got a personal trainer. That wasn't the start. You know, actually, you know, with my trainer, I always forget that since I've been working with her, I've probably lost 50-ish pounds. But before that, I had lost like 20 or 30 on my own. But so when I tell people, it's funny because people will be like, you know, because they're all, you know, people just be in your business at the gym. It's like, oh, so how much have you been losing? Are you, what's your goal? And in my mind, I always think to myself like, oh man, I've lost like, you know, a total of, I guess 80 pounds or so. But then I realized like, not with this trainer, like they've never seen me at the highest weight I ever was. They've only seen me lose the last 50 or so, which is fine. But the point is, I have to give myself credit for, I didn't start this with the trainer in mind. I didn't start this with,
like, that wasn't your goal.
I had to prove my dedication to myself because I wasn't going to waste my money on a gym membership again. Until I was out there walking outside a couple times a week, which is what I did. I walked outside for a few months and it was just around here. And then before I even went to the Greenway and shit. And then it was like, okay, I'm doing that. And you know, I've kept that up for a few months and I'm trying to eat a little bit better. I'm keeping that up. You know what? Now I want to get a trainer. Now I want to talk to a nutritionist. And so, yeah, that's what it was for me. So that's what I'm saying. Whenever you're like kind of saying like, you know, your journey or your trainer and all this stuff, it didn't start there. It just started showing, I needed to show that I could do it my own because I think I was tired of doing shit like, you make a big splash, like you get a gym membership or you go do this, and then it's like you give up in 2 weeks and it's like, well, you paying for this gym perpetually and you're not using it. You know, we have a gym here. We can exercise together here if it's a thing. The last thing I'll say is also I do have like a certain level of privilege. My job is this podcast and I get to formulate my hours around that. You don't have the same luxury. Everybody not running the same race. In order for you to do what I do, it would take away from a bunch of other stuff. There's no more isekai, no more video games, no more, you know, even when we do the podcast would be affected. We might have to stop doing it we can do it at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you may have to do that at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the afternoon because then you got to go to the gym, do your hour or so of training, come back and shower. So it's not the same race for everybody. And I don't say this to discourage. I say this to encourage, to say, don't look at other people, not even me. A big thing for me, for this, you know, for all the stuff I'm doing, was to not rely on you. I was like, I don't want to make it a codependent thing. I don't want to make it well, Karen doesn't want to do this, so now I'm not doing this. I know you would never, that's not your thing either. Like it's not like you would be sitting around trying to do whatever. I'm not even implying that. I'm saying,
and I wouldn't want to be a distraction.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is that it had to be only for me. It couldn't be for you and me. It's for you vicariously. I want to be here longer. I want to have a more active, healthy lifestyle that we, you know, that benefits us in other ways. But it's not it wasn't a thing of like, we're going to the gym together, we're going to eat these meals together, we're going to do this because if something happens to you or something changes, it changes for me, and it shouldn't be about that. So, you know, and like you said, your schedule is your schedule. If it's and there's no shame in it. You know, there's days where you know, I'll talk to my trainer and she's like, if you can, you know, like, what did you do this week or whatever? And most days I work out 6 days a week and I take one day off. This weekend I didn't get to work out because we had your birthday thing, we had Hornets game, and also I was just very tired today for some reason. But anyway, the point being, there's been days where she's like, just because you couldn't do your normal hour walk, if you did a 40-minute walk, you did something. Try to do something. Like, it's not, sometimes I go to the gym and I get there too late and I don't have time to go through my 4 sets. And so I do 3. Not often. It happens, right. My goal is always to plan not to fail, but shit happens. And so anyway, my point being, a 20-minute walk, you shouldn't live in no shame about it, because that's all internalized. Yeah. Nobody is measuring you.
Right.
Nobody
was watching me. Yeah.
You didn't fail anybody.
Yeah, it wasn't a pass or fail test.
I'm still a slow ass walker, even after all this time of walking. I'm a little bit faster than I was, but she told me a long time ago, don't walk for pace, walk for length. So if you want to elevate your heart rate for an hour, just worry about walking for an hour straight. Don't worry about, I didn't do a mile and it should have been this long. Like, that's not the goal. The goal, like, those things are measurable and you should keep track of them. But
right.
The goal is like, oh, look, now you're walking an hour and 20 minutes. You weren't, that's an endurance thing, you
yes.
know? So anyway, all that stuff to say, you shouldn't, I think you're on the right path, and the biggest thing for you is just going to be consistency. You just need to figure a thing you can do, however often you want to do it. Stick to that for a while, and then you'll increase as you can. But if you just start with, I'm gonna walk 1 day a week, I'm gonna walk 2 days a week, that's fine.
Right. I want to keep the goal, like I said, reasonable, and like I said, this Saturday was just perfect, because like you say, I could just. And I'm an early bird, because I wake up at the crack of dawn anyway, because I'm just used to getting
sometimes
up with sometimes I sleep a little longer, but a lot of times I wake up, and even if I don't get up, I'm normally up early. So I was like, well, today, since I'm up early, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna move around and do this just to go ahead and knock it out of my way. And I realized I felt better, like as the day went on and things like that. And so I was like,
and
okay,
the thing
this is a good thing.
It's just one day. It's a consistency thing. It's not like you need to just find a thing you can do consistently. It's like one day is one day. It like first day is a high. It's like first day of school.
Yes.
But when it's routine is when it matters. I'm at a point now where it bothers me when I can't do stuff. It's bothered me all weekend that I didn't get to do anything. And I don't mean that like it's bothering my mental health, but just like there's a fire inside of me that's like,
because it's become
fuck,
a habit.
man, it was sun was going down. I'm like, I could go out to the Greenway and walk in the dark, and I was like, that's fucking stupid. You can always work tomorrow. And now I'm at a point now where, because I know my goals are long term and I'm not giving up on myself, and I'm expecting this to be a thing I do for the rest of my life. Now I'm a little like, I'm not as worried that this week I'll only have worked out 5 times as opposed to 6, because that's gonna be life now. So most time I'm gonna do 6, but sometimes it'll be 5. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up on myself as I would in the past, where I'm like, I missed my thing, I guess I start over, I guess I quit. No, then tomorrow I'm gonna go to the gym and do all that CrossFit shit they got me doing. Tuesday I'm gonna go for a walk, and then Wednesday I'm going back to my trainer. There's been weeks where she's been out of town traveling. I've never not gone to the gym.
Right.
The real work isn't the trainer. The real work is what I do. The real work is that I come in that gym when she's not around.
Right.
And it shows in the results. The in-body test with my muscle building, the loss of fat tissue, all that stuff, that's the work. The work is the shit nobody sees, the stuff that you just, the routine stuff. So that's what it's gonna come down to. Like, but every journey starts with one step or one walk. And so yeah, you'll see. And also, how many times did I try this and it just didn't work? Like, you just can never give up. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're waking up the next day, you still got a chance to do something. And so I'm gonna just keep doing this shit, and it'll add up. This is the second time in my life I've ever lost weight. You know, it's the first time. This is definitely the first time I ever gained muscle on purpose. So it's just, all this shit is new to me too. You know, and yeah, and I know they talk about people being inspired by me or affected by me and stuff, sharing all this, and it would make sense that you would feel that way too. We got all kinds of fans that are writing in, and people are always on my Instagram and stuff. And if honestly, I don't think there's anything negative about physical fitness, and the way that I'm sharing it, I don't feel like it's anything toxic. I ain't judging nobody.
Right.
I haven't talked bad about anybody's body, and I've made a very careful effort to make sure I never talk bad about my own body. Just not just for me though, but for everybody that is absorbing this. I don't want any of this come from a negative place. A lot of people who are physically fit, or obsessed with physical fitness and health, they never motivated me with their negative speak. Like, there was a lot of negative speak that they would have.
Yeah, some of my very
negative. Even now, some of my good friends, they just say shit sometimes, and it doesn't affect me. I don't like snap at anybody. It doesn't bother me in that way. It's just life. Shout out to therapy. That's what therapy really is how to deal with life. It's not how to snap on everybody and make them deal with you.
How to adjust with.
But I know it's in their head when they're like, oh, look, this fat ass, or you know, I don't, you know, being all fat and lazy or whatever. And I'm just like, you know, whatever. That's some inner turmoil for your ass to deal with. But for me personally, I didn't want to put that into their world, so I try not to say shit like that. Or if I, you know, but I'm listening to my trainer and doing the stuff she say. So she say post a progress pic, I post that pic. You know, talk about your goals. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And some people, once again, their internal monologue will take the other way. Like, I've seen people say stuff like, if your friends post a picture of them losing weight, what they're saying is that they hate you for being fat or something. I'm like, that's you and your therapist should get together.
That's an internal thing.
Because that person, you don't know what the fuck that person's going through.
They probably not even thinking about you.
You know, we don't know. I try not to comment too much on people's bodies in general. Even like, look at Chadwick Boseman. Like, we just don't know what people are struggling with. We don't know what their doctor told them. We don't know what medication they're dealing with.
Right.
We don't know what ailments they have. None of this shit. So it's totally whatever gets you in a positive place. And and whether it's one walk a week, whether it's 2 walks, whether it's a walk every day,
right?
It don't matter whether it's a 20-minute walk, a 5-minute walk, a 10-minute walk. None of this shit matters. It's you did something, and what were you gonna do? Nothing.
I sure was. Right.
Yeah, you should pat yourself on the back for that anyway.
Yeah, so I was very proud of myself that I actually went in and did that, because I was like my brain was like, get up, do something. Don't let here, get it over with, because it was still early. And I'm really glad I did do that, because like I say, sometimes I think about the past, but it's also one of them things where I am where I am, but I remember when I used to work out on a consistent basis, how much energy I felt, how, my brain, how I thought clear. Like, I know it's wild, but like, it was just a different.
It's not wild. That's
feeling.
Science. Everybody does it.
And so, for me, I was like, I want to get back there again. And particularly as you get older, you're, going, getting ready or possibly going through premenopause and all that stuff. You want to try to make that journey as best as possible, because I want to be in the best shape that I can be for that time.
Yeah. All right. That was kind of a longer banter than normal. Did you want to do more, or did you want to get into?
I have more.
Stuff?
Do you have anything?
I'm looking at the time. We said we were gonna do a short show, and if we end up doing like 50 minutes, an hour of banter, then we won't do anything else. So it's
my
just
bad.
No, it's okay. We can do whatever you want to do. If you want to do the whole show of banter, you were the one saying it was gonna be short.
No problem. I'll do one more, and then we can move on. And this one, I think this one should be short.
Okay. Well, no, I do have some short ones then.
Okay.
Speaking of physical fitness, I think I told you and my mom this. I'm gonna start a run club myself. You know, I know we already have black men run, black women run in Charlotte, and I don't want to step on their toes, so I won't be doing that one. But I'm gonna start a club called Run Nigga Run. It's Run Nigga Run Club, and we're just trying to get physically, you know, in shape to run because we see what the country's doing. We see what's happening with these laws. We trying to get ahead of the curve.
With you?
A lot of us been sitting around in the pandemic, and it's like, listen,
nigga, pick that cotton. What are we doing here?
I mean, when we got to get to the north, okay, we not gonna be walking. They not gonna let us slow roll to the north. I'm imagining we gonna have to hop through the woods on the good foot. So
run to the back of the bus.
I'm just starting. I gotta get the shirts made. And no white people are allowed to join. Okay, I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. It's a black only club. If I see a white person wearing a shirt, I'm gonna assume that it's an order.
It's a demand from you.
I'm gonna assume you on the other side of this. So yeah, just Run Nigga Run Club. Y'all look out for my new run club I'm starting.
I was sitting here and I was going through my music apps, and I played This Is America by Childish Gambino, and that's one of my favorite songs of his. Mm-hmm. And when I went back and I was listening to it this week, I processed, and I remember how people responded during that time and called him crazy.
Yeah,
and,
This Is America.
Yeah, like when that song came out.
Yeah, we did a whole episode about that. I remember.
And people acting a fool. I was like, no. He was before his time. Like it's amazing when you go back. You was like, no. He was speaking like the things he's speaking kind of goes through time. And if you listen to that song now, the song was powerful then, but the song is really powerful now. If you literally go back and just listen to the lyrics and what he's talking about, I was like, he was literally before his time.
Yeah,
with that song.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess shout out to myself on this one. But he might have been ahead of his time, but he wasn't ahead of my time because I was on time when he dropped that shit.
Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Rob is right. Rob is right. Yep, Rob is right. Yeah, Rob is right. Whoop, what was that again? Oh yeah, Rob was right. Rob was right.
Because you can go and listen to our podcast from back then. It was May 7, 2018. Episode 1675. It was called This Is America. And we talked about going to the movies, and then that was all we talked about. No segments, no nothing. It was just a hour and 35 minutes of talking about This Is America or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's certain episodes that I'm extremely proud of.
Me too.
And that's one because the zeitgeist on all sides was trying to dissect and denigrate this work. Mm-hmm. And you had, of course, white people that were mad at it. You had black people that were mad at it, the black intelligentsia on social media, the people that just don't like Donald Glover for whatever fucking reasons.
Right.
Valid or not valid, it just ain't have nothing to do with the art. And he said something and it stood the test of time.
Yes, it did.
And it was fortuitous because if that ain't America, I don't know what the fuck it is. And every time I think of that video or listen to that song, I think this is what we are living through. And that amalgamation of art that he did was that is the feeling I get when I think of this country. Mm-hmm. And he captured that perfectly. And all these people that were naysaying and talking down about it, I'd love to see what they think right now. I'd love to see, and the fact that they were like, it didn't need to be violent. Neither does America, but it is.
Right.
It did. You know, why was this? Yeah, I'm tired of people parading brutality. Well, that's what the fuck is happening to me. Mm-hmm. That's the art. Y'all don't say that shit when it's motherfuckers doing the 27th gangster film in the world. You know, for the year. You don't say that shit. You know, when you're watching Power and they're fucking bombing each other and exploring each other, you're not like, why has it got to be so violent? No, you're just enjoying the entertainment. He made a statement, and that shit is meant something.
Yeah,
and to this day, it means something to me. He's one of my favorite artists because I think he is so impactful. I saw someone on Twitter today post a picture of him and Jordan Peele with their wives and be like, they make black art, but they married to white women. Well, nigga, they still black in America.
Ain't that the truth?
And also, like, I don't know what y'all think y'all's point is with that, but at the end of the day, there's black people who seem to hate other black people.
Yes.
And I'm okay calling them out.
Me too.
So, but they show, they evidence that in their work. Motherfuckers marrying people outside their race, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And if I'm talking to most black people, it breaks down because you'll find out, like, so what is freedom to you? Because freedom is the freedom of choice.
Yes.
So if freedom is the freedom of choice, then it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, there's black people that's going to be shitty to you. There's white people that's going to be shitty to you. There's white people that's going to be good to you. There's black people that's going to be good to you. And all other races in between. Mm-hmm. So it, like, the idea of trying to take away somebody's work because of that is crazy. But those who are hateful of our race, that are members of our race, they'll out themselves eventually. They'll say the thing, they'll do the thing, and it'll be consistent, and it'll show up in their work and all that shit. But some of this shit is trying to tar and feather people that aren't guilty, and then just keep trying to do confirmation bias for the rest of your life. Anyway, I love that This Is America, and yeah, I think about it all the time. It was a bop, but also it was just poignant.
Yeah, and periodically I would just play it, and sometimes I get in the mood where I just play it all day, like I just be in that mood, and I would just play it all day. It's just something about how it starts to the end, and then I start thinking about the video, and like somebody in chat saying, it's wild how through all that chaos, he was just dancing, like him.
Because that's what black people do,
just dancing.
I feel like that's what I'm doing. I feel like making this show, trying to make some entertainment and survive this. I'm dancing
while the chaos is happening, because actually you don't have a choice. Like if you stop moving, you won't survive.
Yeah, I guess maybe this show is just gonna be the banter segment, because I'm reading this book, White Negroes, about cultural appropriation. I just finished this chapter that was about what was it about? I don't want to say it was about the N-word. It was deeper than that, but a big part of it was like hip hop and rap and fashion and all this type of stuff. But one of the things she talked about was how, white people trying to use like the N-word, like the dreaded N-word. Oh my God. And how they do it all the time at like rap shows, right? But if it's in a crowd, if it's in a, that's fine. If you're rapping along to your favorite rapper and he says the N-word and everyone in the arena says the N-word, like no one's gonna stop and individually card every white person or whatever. But obviously there's times individually where it doesn't line up, right? Like where just some white person says the N-word. I saw one today. There's a white guy. He stopped traffic so he could record a video. He stopped traffic so he could record this video of him freestyling, and he's freestyling in the middle of the street in the freeway, and traffic is backed up. I'm like, I don't know what state this is, but maybe the gun laws ain't caught up, because man, there's not a lot of places you can pull that one off and feel comfortable. But everyone was like, look at the audacity. He's stopping traffic and he's doing this rap. Give me 1 second.
Vibe on the beat. I hear no voice in the back of my head. Hey.
Try that 2 times. Thought I was helping with the echo. Turns out I wasn't doing shit. Wait, now I don't see anything. I'm blank.
Okay.
Okay, now they can hear Rod, but they don't. Can y'all see me? I don't even see me.
Okay.
Let's try this one more time.
Live podcasting, y'all.
Okay, now y'all should be seeing me and hearing me, and I'll share it again. All right, here we go. Let me know if y'all can. But anyway, so he stopped traffic and he's rapping.
Hey, my mama had told me don't do it. I put it on pause. I eat it on coke.
So it's the From the Streets freestyle or something. I guess he's trying to take it to the next level. And he appears to be a white man to me, right?
Yes, he does.
Okay, he's rapping the language of the black streets and all this shit.
Put the bricks in the back of the brook. I work from the laws, kick it to the floor. I put my hustle in front of my bitch and it started to fall. I'm losing my hope. I put it forward.
So, you know, people are. I've seen comments where people just call it the freestyle week, and I can't believe he stopped traffic for this. That's part of it, sure. I mean, it's very obnoxious what he's doing. But this is the part that I picked up. You heard that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he robbed him a nigga. He don't seem like he should be saying that word. Right. And so it then makes me take a 1,000-foot step back from the whole piece, right? Because what I see there is a man who is white and uninteresting, and therefore using our culture and our language as a cover, as a clothing, as something he does not truly respect. Because stopping traffic ain't hip hop. But it's something that you might consider that if you don't really understand and respect black people. You might think like, this is what this, you know, no black person would ever stop. I'm gonna be the realest nigga out. I'm gonna stop all the traffic. Black people like, why would I invite the police to do any extra shit to me? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when the police come up, you got the complexion for protection. You know, saying the N-word and you don't come from any of those pains, you know, you want our rhythm, not our blues, right? Saying that's not impressive to me, but it's impressive to a certain type of white person, maybe. That's like, wow, he said that. And I'm sure that if I question this man or whatever, he'd either flex on me or just act like, I'm not saying it out of a hateful way. I'm just saying it, you know, like the way y'all be saying it. I don't see why I can't say it. It's just a word and all this shit. Meaning they don't see us, right? It's that I don't see color almost type of shit, you know. But to truly love somebody, you see. It means to truly see them, right? To love somebody is to see them. So when you say you don't see color, I know that means you don't love black people. Cause love goes beyond I don't see you. You're not looking past anything. You're looking at something. You're looking into the core of somebody and being like, I do see you.
Yes.
Right. And it just feels like that mask that you're putting on that's not really about us anymore at that point. So it kind of makes me think about, you know, This Is America, and how much of This Is America in the background you can just see that the entire thing is this ravenous hunger that whiteness has for black entertainment and black people and black souls, and just it'll never fill that void, but it continues to just eat what we create. It takes our slang and then regurgitates our slang back at us, and then says that the slang is no longer cool and it's played out, but it's not played out by us. It's played out because y'all got to it. You know, it's that kind of thing. And so it just made me think about what you were saying, made me think about that.
And I don't remember the name of the podcast. I'm sorry, y'all, but I was going watching like a shorts, and a clip came on, and this black woman was kind of talking about this topic, so it's still on topic. And she brought up a good point. She was saying the black culture and what black people have gone through, and black people being perceived as quote unquote cool is a problem, because the thing is, you come and you do things and you be like, that's cool, but they were like, you do know that this person that shot somebody else, or this person that's gang banging and all this stuff, you do know they have PTSD, right? Like, and you do know if they had a choice, they would opt out of that. Right. Of that.
It's our survival mechanism.
Yes, but the thing is, like, black people are quote unquote considered so cool that our struggles and our tragedy and our hurt and our pain and the things that we lack are considered something that other people aspire to, when it's like, nigga, you should want to aspire to this. Why do you want to aspire to this? Like, we don't want to be here. We're here by choice.
It's interesting you say that, because the passage that one of the ones that I like saved out of this book, and the full title of the book is White Negroes, When Cornrows Were in Vogue, and Other Thoughts on Cultural Appropriation by Lauren Michelle Jackson. So that's the full title, because some of y'all are going to be like, Rod, did you just say what the title is? I've told you what the title is. You need to rewind. Don't write me an email later on or a comment. The rewind button is on every podcast app y'all listen to.
You got 30 seconds.
There's no reason for y'all not to hit that button rather than send an email and wait days for us to answer.
Right, days.
I won't say it again. You can rewind. All right. The passage is this. If there is something broken in all of us, and there must be, living in a world like this, that is true in triplicate for white people, who must observe so much of the world's evil enacted by people with whom they share a face. Today is no less scary than yesterday. The bombs are more devastating, the wars are ongoing, and the intelligence speaks back to us from the living room, turning 1984 into quaint historical fiction. Everyone is scared shitless. But the good liberal white person cannot bear to disavow friends and family, cannot dare the smallest confrontation at Thanksgiving dinner, and so looks for freedom elsewhere. Liberal white Americans still suppose black people might be the key to the gateway away from conformity. The normal, boring life, too quiet to drown out the screams of sorrow and agony required to maintain a normal, boring life in the 21st century. Speaking the language of hip, learning it on their tongue, seems one step closer to being interesting and distinct from their upbringing and destiny. White people speak black to feel alive, to feel real. And maybe, just maybe, that feeling can become reality. And that dude made that. It's so crazy. I read this about an hour before I saw that video. And I didn't know he was going to say the N-word. Like, everyone's just like, look at the traffic, which is still another offshoot of probably trying to imitate blackness or one-up blackness even. Like, I'm so hip-hop. Look at this wild, ridiculous, inconsiderate bullshit I just did. I'm not stopping traffic because I'm marching for Black Lives. I'm not stopping traffic because I'm marching against Trump. I'm not stopping traffic because I'm stopping traffic to do a freestyle and say the N-word with some other dudes, you know, in some cars in the back. But when he said the N-word, I said, of course, yeah, it's just a costume. You think that makes you interesting.
It's a costume.
It just make you a little different from the other white guy with the tattoos that's also offensive, who also says the N-word, but with a hard R and for a different reason. But, you know, similarly to be interesting. So, yeah, that's a huge tangent from what you started. And And I'm not even really sure how to put that in the show notes. I don't even know what that relates to. But
no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Since we're going to continue on random thoughts, Roderick, because I told y'all I had like that jacket that Roderick had got me. And it's been hilarious because when I wear that jacket around, it does get attention, but it's very confusing to people. And it's one of those things where I walk into place and everybody, they look and I could tell the confusion on their face, and they like, should I ask? Should I not ask? So I don't know if they recognize it, but they don't want to, seem stupid. So it's just hilarious just watching me walk into a room with that jacket on, and just the confusion across everybody's face. I went to a doctor's office, everybody looked like, almost like, is she doing this on purpose? Is it a costume? Like, I was just confusing the shit out of everybody. But I know that I'm gonna cross the right person. They're gonna be like, I know who that is.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the jacket, and that's why I got it. I figured you would get a kick out of all that stuff. Plus, you always wear jackets and coats and shit everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
All right, I snuck some Thundersticks into the Hornets game. So if you guys watch NBA basketball, you see sometimes in the second half of games, they give fans these like blow up rubber sticks that you bang together while the other team shoots free throws to try to distract them. And mostly just a great ADD fidget device. It's just, you're just banging them the whole second half.
For no reason.
Rather than buying popcorn or whatever the fuck else.
Yep.
At any rate, so we sometimes, though, depending on which direction the team is going, because they switch up based on the team on the road decides which direction they want to play. So if they're not coming to our direction at the end of the game, we don't get those sticks.
Right.
And obviously in the first half, if they're not coming, you don't get the sticks. And so we went to a game, and I got an extra pair of sticks, and I just didn't blow them up. I just kept them at the house, and then I was like, I'm gonna keep bringing them in my pocket, and then one day they're not gonna be coming our direction. We're not gonna get the free handout of sticks for everybody,
right? But
I'll have my own sticks. And so I blew up my own sticks,
which was hilarious because everybody was so confused. Particularly people that don't come to the game, they're like, "The hell is that noise?" And
it was just me. And then also we suck, so most of the tickets are now the other team fans buying tickets. So I was literally like the only person with the sticks banging them during the free throws for the other team when they were shooting. It was not a close game. It didn't help. No. I think they missed one free throw. And Karen tried to act like she didn't want the sticks, but I knew she was envious of the sticks. So eventually I gave her a try as well. But it was fun sneaking in Thundersticks.
It was fun and watching everybody's confusion who didn't know what the hell that ding 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 noise was. It was just hilarious. Me and Roderick went to eat pizza for my birthday, and I don't know if I said this, we had bacon wrapped dates, and they were absolutely delicious.
This feels more like we should be saying this on Lip Smacking Good, but go ahead.
Okay.
It's only the show that you run,
Okay, I can skip that then.
Some content, is to be sold, Karen. You don't give it away for free.
Okay, never mind. But then I
sign up for the blackouttips.com/premium, guys.
Okay.
And then hear our review of things like bacon wrap dates and how they taste and all this stuff.
Okay, and then my last one is kind of a continuation joke that you and Karen Hunter had on Friday, because y'all was making jokes about things that would disqualify black people from getting government checks. Yeah,
so the government is obviously cutting off a lot of government assistance for people, and Karen's thing was like they're tanking the stock market and everything on purpose so that we need it, and then when they build it back up, they'll give America money and stimulus checks and stuff like that, and then people will feel beholden to the Republicans, and it'll make them continue to vote for Republicans and stuff like that. To which I said, that might be an American tradition, but part of that American tradition is that black people always get boxed out from that. Meaning, when it is time for the let's fix the Great Depression, all of a sudden it's like, but not for the blacks. We're gonna give out money, but if you are black, we're going to leave it up to your state to decide if you should get access to the GI Bill. So while people give so much credit to people like FDR and Lyndon B. Johnson for these, like, look at these ground sweeping legislation, they never talk about how those people refused to enforce those things for black people.
Right.
Even after the Civil War.
And
They never
boxed us
talk
out.
about how much Reconstruction was undone because essentially no one wanted to come down to the South and reinforce the rules that say black people get to participate in the democracy like everyone else.
Agreed.
And so, you know, that was my thing was, what will they do now in 2025 to box us out? Because it's getting less and less, since they can't they normally aren't overtly like, you're black. They're using different metrics. One thing they're using for real right now is they're saying, we want to give money to areas of the country that have high marriage rates, and they use that to try to demarcate between like urban black environments versus white rural environments. Because sometimes in this country, white rural environments will still have a high rate of marriage, whether those people are happy or really together, whatever. And so they're like, oh, we're not saying we're not giving money to black people. We're saying we're giving money to people who have to areas of the country, right? So not even you have to be married, right? You can be not married, but if enough people around you have traditional marriages, we're giving money to your part of the country, and they're constantly looking for stuff. So then, of course, I turned it into jokes and was like, they're going to give money, but if you keep things in a Crown Royal bag that aren't Crown Royal, they're not going to give you money.
Right.
You know, if you add S to the end of chain stores, they're going to find a way not to give you money. That kind of, so that was the joke.
Yeah, and so I came up with my own list. Okay. And so my list is if you go in and you request your chicken or your fish fried hard, if you ask for well done steak.
Yep, not going to be able to give you that government assistance.
If you use perm and relaxer in the same term, they actually don't mean the same thing, y'all. But we use them,
Interchangeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you call somebody aunt, but you know they're not your aunt. You lick your finger to count money. No one has to explain to you what 4C means. If you ask who all gonna be there. If you ever have had your car fixed with a 6-pack and or cigarettes.
You mean paid for?
You paid for. Yeah, you had your car fixed, like and your payment was a 6-pack and or cigarettes. If your fire alarm always beeping. If you ever have jumped because you was froggy. Your favorite phrase is you don't know nothing about that, young boy.
Okay, yeah, that's the other one.
If you got a family member graduated and or went to a homecoming of an HBCU, that's a lot of us. Like that's a lot of us. But
that's low key. That's a lot of them too. But go ahead.
Yeah, but you true because actually
they go to HBCUs on scholarships,
and they the minority in these situations.
Right.
But the thing is, you get bonus points, which means you miss the extra year if you went to Howard, Clark, Spelman, North Carolina A&T, because y'all know these are schools that most of all of us know your family member always representing, and I know for us it's North Carolina A&T. They be like, North Carolina, Aggie Pride, like that's their jam. But you have people, Morehouse, Hampton, Grambling. I'm sorry, y'all gonna miss an extra year. I hate to inform you, because that means you extra black. If you know what the electric slide is. If you ever use Tussie deodorant, you're disqualified.
I don't know if the Trump administration is going to be able to get this deep in the weeds, because I feel like when they start thinking of stuff to get rid of black people, the black people they're going to depend on to make the list are going to be like Tim Scott. He don't know this.
No.
Keep going. I like this list. Keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this. I guess it's gonna be another hour or two of the show, but just go ahead.
Yeah, because I was just randomly just thinking about this.
Okay.
if you rub tussin on everything and it just makes you feel better.
You don't rub tussin on things. That's not what happens. You don't. No, you rub Vicks vapor rub.
Vicks vapor rub
on everything. You drink Robitussin. You know who's rubbed. You don't rub tussin. You rub Vicks vapor rub. Everybody know that shit can cure AIDS. It's just you just rub it on there.
You just rub it on you.
What's wrong with you?
And everything gonna clear up.
What you strained your calf? Give me the Vicks vapor rub.
But I just, and you take tussin for everything. Robitussin, they're like, I don't care what it is. You rub vapor rub, or you're taking tussin. If you have a long-hearted laugh and you run away, y'all know how we slap our knees and somebody say a joke, and then all of a sudden the whole room gets up and run away.
Yes.
If you ever told somebody you got the right one or the wrong one, it don't matter if they both mean the same thing. We don't care. If you got a Saturday morning music playlist, that means clean up.
Yeah, I saw on my Ring doorbell neighbors app, someone put up a post that was like, first of all, you're supposed to be using it for dangerous shit. Like, hey, what are the police doing around this area of the city? Has anybody seen blank? You know, maybe if you lost your cat or your dog or something, you might see that. But someone on the neighbors app said, who was it? It was yeah. Loud music Sunday morning. Has anyone else heard a thumping bass the last 2 weekends early Sunday morning? It sounds like it's coming near south in a street near us. Not sure where it's coming from, but it must be really loud. And so it says probably a church. I'm like, somebody cleaning their house. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No problem. If you ever had a Jerry curl or an S curl, you call kids chaps. If you look at your gas tank on E and say, I know my car. If somebody asks you what you want to drink and you name colors, red, blue, or green. And that's it.
That's the list.
That's the list.
That's a good list.
I was thinking about this for a while, y'all.
That's a good list.
You and Karen Hunter just made me think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down my own list because when I just wanted to jump in. I was like, I got some.
Yeah, we never got around to it. You know, the show kind of takes its different turns as things start flowing, but those would have been great additions to the list.
I'm glad. So.
People just started calling in about old black names nobody has anymore. And, I think the list would have been fun too.
Y'all know all of us would have been disqualified. But the thing is, you're right, Roger. They ain't gonna get somebody like me that's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna tell you how to disqualify all the Negroes.
Yeah.
I got the list. If they put a small TV on top of a big TV, if their grandma called every sister Nintendo, it don't matter what the fuck it is. It don't matter how many generations done gone by. It's Nintendo.
All right. Oh man, at this point, I don't know. We'll do a little bit of guess the race, maybe. Or let me see. Maybe there's another segment I can do.
Okay.
And then we'll do guess the race and we'll wrap it up.
Yes.
Let's see. You know what? We haven't done this in a while. Let's do white people news.
White people news, we're bringing egg salad to the barbecue. We might be problematic or a little bit dim. That sounds really harsh on our fragile pink skin. It's white people news.
All right, white people news. See what these white folks into. Okay, they be doing stuff. All right, we don't always keep up with it, but now it's time to get you refreshed. For those of y'all not in the know, Morgan Whalen. You know who Morgan Whalen is, Karen?
Mm-mm.
All right.
And that's what this turned into. Channel.
News. So Morgan Whalen stirs speculation with abrupt SNL walk-off. Get me to God's country social media post. He's a country music guy, and it's kind of weird because I don't keep up 100% with him. I do know part of the reason I'm not supposed to like him is I think people are saying he's a racist. Now, I don't know where that's coming from because God forbid I remember every single racist incident country music star has been accused of. I don't remember if he was the one that said the N-word when he was drunk to the Uber person, or that's a different white man. Someone in the chat room will confirm. I'm sure, because y'all do keep up with that. But he also was supposed to be on SNL a while ago, but then this was during COVID, and the reason he didn't appear on that show was supposedly they had pictures of him on social media from being out in a crowded bar making out with women like the night before. And so they were like, cancel. No, you can't show. You clearly not taking the COVID protocol seriously.
Right. We're not going to have you come up in here and be around our people and make them sick. And they said, yes, that's him.
Oh, that was the guy? Okay. Okay, yeah, U.S. radio stations dropped country star of a racial slur. So he was saying goodbye to some friends. He was filmed by a neighbor. He called one of them the N-word. And he said, I'm embarrassed and sorry. In the TMZ video, I use unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. But so anyway, he does Saturday Night Live now.
Okay.
It's not a surprise. He's obviously scheduled. He knows he's going to do it.
Yes.
End of the show, they're doing that thing where they wrap it up and everybody's doing the they're playing the saxophone and you can't hear anybody talking, but they're all like saying, hey, good job, or hey,
they all in the background. Yeah.
And he says something to Mikey Madison, who is the host of the night, and then he saluted the audience and walked straight past the camera like he didn't see the camera. Rather than say goodbye to anyone else on the cast, or just let that 60 seconds go until it fades to black.
Right.
And then later he got on Instagram. He posted a picture of his private jet because he's a country music star and one of the 99%, and said, "Get me to God's country." And so a lot of people obviously see this as like some sort of shade to New York and liberals and whatever. He's also selling merch with "Get Me to God's Country" on their way as well.
Content.
Which sounds like maybe he even had this planned or something or whatever. But white America was talking about this for about a week or so. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's signaling to a certain demographic, but that seems like the country music thing now. It's not like he's standing 10 toes down in it. He's barely bringing it up.
I think that's true.
And I don't know that he's taking the time to really explain it or anything. It's just like a vaguely offensive thing that people are like, that was weird. And to me, it's just more of a, okay, you weirdo. You knew where you were going. You know what I mean? I should have did that when I left out of New York from Game Theory. I should have took a picture of that plane, like, get me to God's country, away from these devil liberals. Chaperone.
Now I know who that white lady is.
You're not getting it, that lady.
Yes.
That said Kamala's name wrong. She slams the man to discuss politics. I wish the president was a pop star. She went on Call Her Daddy podcast and said about her fans, why are you looking for me for some political answer? I'm a pop star. I wish I had the answers. I wish the president was a pop star, but she's not. As Cooper added, you're like, listen to my song in response to backlash. Well, it's kind of weird though. Cooper is the host. It's kind of weird though on two levels here. One, Alice Cooper did Call Her Daddy, and she had Kamala Harris on her show, which to me, and this is, like I said, bigger bubbles. This is the problem with this content culture. Ma'am, you put your foot on the scale. You let us know when it was time to vote, and shout out to Alice Cooper for this. I'm not even taking it away from her. You were like, yeah, Kamala Harris, guys. I'm going to ask her about the issues you guys are talking about. Try to encourage my audience to get to know about her. Good on you. Well done. When it happens with Trump and Vance and Elon Musk, nobody says, fucking Joe Rogan, man, I can't believe, like, everyone, they don't have to back away from their interviews. They get to be like, well, I interviewed them. They're interesting people, blah, blah, blah. If anything, they're the ones acting like it's not a big deal to have a person like that, and then just somehow you can't coordinate your schedule around Kamala Harris. But okay.
Right.
Anyway, Chappell Roan, I remember a big thing for her during the election was she was the one talking about politics. She had a lot of negative things to say about Democrats and Kamala Harris. She was alluding to a lot of shit,
which made her audience speak up. And it's one of them things where I hate, not trying funny, you can't have it both ways. With not trying fun, but then bitch just saying, and just make no comments then.
Right.
But you coming out making comments, and your fan base, which is LGBTQ, which is gonna be impacted by all this shit, they're going to say something to you.
And your music has chosen to have a political side to it, in that you can't, and this is a very white privileged thing.
Right.
You can't cater to and court a audience of marginalized people and then be like, y'all want me to actually like support y'all as people,
right,
and not just people that give me money. I'm just a pop star. I don't know why you guys want me to say anything like that.
Right.
Meanwhile, you were giving your opinion last year with that bullshit.
Yes.
Her uncle is also like a Republican politician, so that may be something in their family. As I said in that, read that quote earlier, that where it's like, you ain't gonna stand up during Thanksgiving, so you know why you're standing up to the fans now. I don't know, but basically she wants off the ride. So last year she addressed pressure from some fans to discuss politics in 2 interviews during Rolling Stone, where she was talking about having hate for both sides. Then she had a breakdown on her own on her own Instagram and social media. Then she canceled shows, didn't show up because she just couldn't deal with the backlash to her. Meanwhile, you know, someone like Taylor Swift endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, and like, you don't see her doing all this. You know, like,
yeah, she's standing 10 toes down.
Yeah, you don't see her, like, she ain't backed up off of nothing. I'm just a pop star or whatever.
No.
And she also doesn't make her whole life about politics. Like, it's not like she just spends, she's not going on podcasts and talking about it.
Right.
Breaking down on Instagram Live. Like, she just like, I said what I said. That's it. I think I did the right thing. I'm leaving it at that. But anyway, I think this is Chappell Roan saying, I would like to retreat back to white privilege. I'm going back to just being a white lady.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to be funny. The way you sounded, I remember you playing these clips. You sound very ignorant. You sound like somebody who didn't know what the fuck was happening, going on. You sound like somebody that was, you talking and people were trying to educate you and you didn't want to listen. So then you turned back and you lashed at them. Fucking Kamala! You know, I remember that, and got mad and angry at your audience. Because they
were saying, say it with your chest. Whatever side you're on, you need to speak up and say it. And then she just was like, I just wanted all the clout from saying, isn't everything bad? Not the responsibility of, well, what happens if you know, this really does go down this way. Pierce Brosnan, he James Bond, an actor, very famous star.
Yeah, I probably know face, like I said, yes.
No, you said who, like, you know.
When you said James Bond, I was like, I know who that is.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, 007.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, one of the elite impossible white men. At any rate, Pierce Brosnan, he's married. He's been married to his wife for a long time. His wife is 61. He's 71. Okay. This is a picture of them when they were younger. And then this is her now, that she's 61, he's 71, that at award shows and stuff like that. As you can see, her body's changed, as everyone's bodies changes over years for the most part.
Yes.
This is her, I'll see if I can mute the sound of this, but like they show up to red carpets together all the time. She wears you know, dresses that hug her body shape and all this stuff wherever they go. And you know, he's still proud and with her and all this stuff, you know, as like what would not be remarkable in any other lane with anybody except for Pierce Brosnan and Hollywood.
She looks good.
So anyway, sometimes people post shit about him and his wife and his family and stuff like that. They just celebrated the 21st wedding anniversary back in August of 2022, and he's always supported his wife. Some trolls that posted pictures of her body from like 1994 to now, and he said in a reply, friends offered her surgery to reduce her weight, but I strongly love every curve of her body. She is the most beautiful woman in my eyes, and also because she had our 5 children. In the past, I truly loved her for her person, not only her beauty. And now I'm loving her even more that she is my children's mother, and I'm very proud of her, and I always seek to be worthy of her love. Last year, she told Vogue, I never shy away from my curves. I never hide in baggy clothing. And Pierce then added, I love my wife's curves. Yeah, and she is like curvy. Like it's so weird because it's such a Hollywood thing. It's like how Hollywood 115 pounds is like, that's a thick ass woman, and in real life you're like that's really not. But
the average woman,
I'm not trying to shame 115 pounds. I'm just saying y'all have some very weird standards that y'all are trying to make it be like, this voluptuous 107-pound woman, she should lose some weight.
Almost 6 foot tall woman. You're like, you don't get out of here.
It's like y'all are doing a lot. They've been together for a long time and stuff, and it was just him saying how he loves her and is not like he's not shaming her body or feeling any negativity towards her body or whatever, any of this stuff.
And I appreciate him for that, and I appreciate him basically was like, this woman had 5 kids, y'all. The fuck are we talking about? Like, I love her. I married her for them curves that y'all are quote unquote joking about. Like, I like them thick. Okay.
Right.
I married her. You didn't.
And they've been together for a long time, and they've been through shit. His mother had, his oldest child had died of like ovarian cancer. They were together for that, you know? And it's just crazy because when you look at these pictures, that's an attractive woman. Mm-hmm. That's like, it's only on a Hollywood red carpet that someone would just completely be like, ugh, what? Like if that woman walks in a room, like people are like, whoa, okay, who's shorty over there? You know what I mean? But it's only in this one area of life. Look at her in the leather ensemble. Like, hey, look, he like a certain thing. I recognize that smile. I've shared that smile on my face, brother. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like he's not supposed to love her because they decided that her body is not worthy of his love. It's
Charlie, you don't get out my face.
Insanity, man. White people news. Billy McFarland pushes back after Playa del Carmen denies Firefest 2. He's not backing down because Mexico, the Playa del Carmen, Mexico said Firefest 2 ain't taking place in our city.
Yeah, we said from the beginning this shit ain't happening.
If you spent your money on this, you deserve to have it stolen.
Yeah, you ain't getting the dime back.
Yeah, you gonna buy some Trump meme coins too?
All right.
Or why don't you just throw the money out
Trump
on a bridge?
The NFCs, yeah.
He says Fire has been working directly with the government of Playa del Carmen and their officials since March 5th, 2025 to ensure a safe and successful event. All media reports suggesting our teams have not been working with the government or PDC are simply inaccurate and based on misinformation.
Child, them people telling the truth.
This statement came directly from Playa del Carmen City Hall announcement, which firmly stated no event of that name will be held in our city. There are no records, plans, or conditions that indicate the holding of such an event. Right. Y'all ain't even gonna get the bread with the cheese on it this time. Y'all about to just be in Mexico knowing we got beef with Mexico. Y'all just they gonna ship y'all back the way they did the El Salvadorians.
Yeah, they is. They gonna be like, oh well.
Out of straight up retaliation, they gonna be like, oh cool, we got some white people we could put in chains. Fuck out of here, bro. What's wrong with y'all? But yeah, the fact that he gets to continue doing this is his version of stopping traffic and doing a freestyle.
Right.
All right, let's how long we been going? All right, let's move into Guess the Race. We'll leave the white folks alone. I have more white people news, but I'll just save it for another day.
Okay.
All right, Guess the Race time. Where's the Guess the Race music? There we go.
What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
Guess the Race time. We go around the globe, find different articles, guess the race of the people involved. Karen plays along, the chat room plays along, everybody's races. And you know how it goes, guys. Today's contestants are carrying in the chat room being racist. Hopefully y'all can hear this article I'm about to start playing, but the title of it is Shot in the Eye. Teen Subway employee shot by customer in Spring Lake.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Chaotic aftermath of a shooting inside a Subway restaurant in Spring Lake.
WRL's Chris Lovingood listened to those calls. Chris, there were 3 of them.
I'm going to be honest here, Jeff and Renee. I had to collect myself for a moment after those calls. I mean, that's my warning for you at home. These calls are disturbing. In each of them, you can hear a young lady wailing in pain in the background. At least one of those calls was from an employee at the Subway on Murchison Road. This happened last Wednesday, and the employee said their teenager manager was shot in the eye, and then another call was from a different person who said a customer came in and shot one of the workers. Now, I want to play you a small portion from one of these calls.
Now keep in mind, Murchison Road, that's Fayetteville, North Carolina, where we went to school.
Yes, it is. I was like, Murchison Road.
The Merc, as they called it.
Yes, the Merc.
And you can get murked on the Merc.
Yes, you can.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. I'm at the Subway on Murchison Road, and I just had a customer shoot into the building and shoot our 16-year-old manager in the face. What's the address?
I just had a customer come into the vehicle and shoot our 16-year-old manager in the face. 16 and you a manager? You gotta be 18 to go to war.
Right. You can't. I don't understand these managers being so young.
And
nigga.
at 18, you could go to war, but you can't be the leader of the war. That's what the manager is. They not like the lieutenant is 18. That's crazy. And honestly, all these fucking front-facing minimum wage public jobs like this, they are the front line of the war, okay, in America. You could get shot any day. 16 is way too young to be putting that baby in the life in danger.
Nigga, 16, and depending on when you went to school, you ain't even took Algebra 2 yet. What is we doing?
You shouldn't even be a sandwich artiste yet.
No!
At 16, let alone the manager of the artiste.
Right there.
Now, though the call looks like it said Murchison Road, it's Murchison Road. Just want to make that clear. Who you're seeing right here is
Okay, you uppity yet? Okay.
37-year-old Alyssa Reed. She's the woman accused of shooting the teenager in this attempted murder case, and she is being held on no bond because of the severity of this case. Now, I did call the Subway restaurant to check on the staff members there, see if they were okay, and of course, check on their coworker who was shot. They said that she is still recovering in the hospital at this time, Renee.
Shot in the eye. For what?
I know one thing. If my baby's 16, you tell me they a manager, I say you a goddamn lie. I can't even get, 16, they don't do a lot of shit. You like, how you gonna run a goddamn store?
Guess the race, Karen.
Black.
Karen's going black for the woman who shot the teen in the eye. What was her name? Alyssa Jewel Reed. All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. As black as the pupil they shot on that pupil. Damn.
Oh no.
Black olives. Super Predator 16 black. What? Black. Mink lashes ebony skin. Wow. Looks like everybody went black for this one. And everyone, you got it wrong. She was white. Yes, y'all got it wrong, 100% of y'all.
Oh, no.
This white lady named Alyssa ran up in the Subway, shot that baby in the eye, and shame on y'all for thinking it had to be black.
Go to jail, lady.
All right, let's go to another episode, another one. Let's see. How about this one? Embalmer busted for funeral home horror. Okay, all right. An embalmer at a Texas funeral firm used a scalpel to mutilate a sex offender's corpse, then stuffed the decedent's penis in his mouth. About that life.
Baby, you already gone.
The shocking incident occurred last month at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory. Don't get your criminal family buried there.
No.
If it was a thief, she would have cut out their hands.
Right.
It resulted in the arrest of Amber Page Lardermilk, 34, of abuse of a corpse, which is a felony. So now when she gets buried, they're going to have to abuse her corpse. It never ends, guys. The cycle will never end, unfortunately. Investigators have identified the dead man as Charles Roy Rodriguez, a 58-year-old registered sex offender. He was convicted of sexually assaulting a 31-year-old woman and was judged a moderate risk, according to Texas Offender Registry, which lists him as being required to remain on the registry for the entirety of his life. Within minutes of the funeral company management learning of his criminal history, a crematory employee told a co-worker that she observed Laudermilk cut off the decedent's penis halfway and stuff it in his mouth. What I think is interesting is were they planning to cremate him anyway?
Oh, I don't know.
Then no, I'm saying.
They were planning.
It sounded like it was in the cremation room.
Oh, so they were planning on burning him.
We only know about this because you snitched. When the ashes are ashes and dust is dust, we can't tell the dick is in the dust mouth.
We wouldn't have been able to know.
I know that was a hip hop song, "My Dick Is in the Dust," but that's not. We literally don't know.
Same.
Upon learning of the mutilation, memorial mortuary and crematory manager went to the cremation room to look for themselves and noticed the genitals had been mutilated and the penis was in his mouth. A provisional embalmer told Cox that she witnessed Laudermilk stab decedent Rodriguez twice with a scalpel in the groin and then cut off his penis, place it in decedent's mouth. You didn't see anything, she reportedly said.
They were like, well, I sure did not. I didn't see nothing.
Well, they did. They went and snitched, so they did see something. He told she told police she perceived the statement to be threatening. According to investigators, the funeral director said she saw Laudermilk fondling the mouth of the decedent, adding that the decedent's penis was in the mouth. Laudermilk, the director said, responded by quickly covering the groin area with a towel and stated the decedent had a lot going on with him.
A whole lot going on.
Her bond was set at $5,000. The defendant may not be employed as an embalmer while the case is pending. I mean, I think as long as you just get people that didn't do a bunch of criminal bullshit, she can bury him. Paw be fine as long as he, ain't got no bodies on his list. Texas Funeral Service Commission records list Laudermilk's specialty as embalmer and her license status is suspended. Guess the race of, what's her name? Amber Page Laudermilk, this hero.
White.
Karen's going with a white. Let's check the chat room and see what they believe. Hannibal licked him white.
Oh no!
You didn't see anything as a very black statement. Are you saying she's black, Rob? You need to pick a lane. Latina, says Marissa. Loriana Bob Crypt White. Are you talking about Lorena Bobbitt? What was it? What was that? Lorena Bobbitt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lorena Bob Crypt White. That's so smart.
That's
Cass.
Hilarious.
White says Karen with 2 R's. All right. The correct answer is Karen. What'd you say? White?
Mm-hmm.
You got it wrong. She's black.
That sounds like a white name.
Only one person got it right. Black Rob said black. Well, a couple people did. And that's her picture right there. That looked like a black woman to me. And that top right.
They were like, oh, word.
Yeah. And then the picture they used in the article is this picture here, where I was like suspicious, like that looked like a black woman. And she also looked like she'll cut your dick off and throw it in your mouth if you're a rapist. And honestly, I applaud this hero. I don't think we should. She should not go to jail. We need to start a GoFundMe. We need to get this sister out of here. She is the hero that we need at a time like this. Honestly, I would vote for her. Let's send her to the White House. There's some people up there that need their dicks put in their mouth because they don't know how to keep their motherfucking hands off people. So
keep their dicks to themselves.
I support this sister, and I hope I'd let her work at my funeral home. I know that, and I'd exclusively just be a funeral home for killers and rapists and shit, and be like, fuck them up, girl. Fuck them up, funeral home. Come on through. All right, let's go to the Guess the Race bonus rounds. Karen is 0 for 2 today.
I know.
Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the race. Triple the points. 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 Triple the race. Triple the race.
Memphis, Tennessee. A customer allegedly hit a Popeyes worker in the face with brass knuckles multiple times over a food order on Monday.
Damn, you meant that, because I had to sit and wait for you to put them bitches on.
Brass knuckles. So it's around 3:35 p.m. So it's after the lunch rush and before the dinner rush.
Yes, it is.
Right when you're thinking it's going to be quiet. You know, you're like, oh, finally,
They
I
got
can
rowdy
relax.
again.
The victim told police he was working the drive-through window when a customer became upset about that order. It's Popeyes. Everyone's upset about every order. Calm your nerves. That's just part of the treatment.
That's part of the job.
Yeah. That as a customer, you knew that you was upset that you had to go to Popeyes. That's what happened. You say, oh, they're gonna mess it up. The manager handled the complaint. The victim walked into the lobby. The suspect then ran into the business and hit the victim in the face with brass knuckles multiple times. Well, let me start right there. Stop right there. Well, you said the manager handled the complaint. If the manager handled the complaint, then there wouldn't be a victim.
It sure would not be if they took care of it.
That manager went in that back room and hid like a motherfucker.
And sit somebody else out there.
They sold that employee out.
You know they did.
You know, I told her multiple times not to tell people it's a wait on spicy. Anyway, I'm going to go in the back room and turn off all the cameras. Police say the victim was knocked unconscious from the assault. No arrest has been made. It's an ongoing investigation, even though I have his picture right here. Guess the race of the customer.
Black. Ongoing investigation.
Ongoing investigation.
People are like, I'm not telling.
They have a lot of story for it to be ongoing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like we're looking around saying like, what's going on with this story? You have the man's picture. We know exactly what happened. We know the time it happened.
Somebody recognize
We have a
that
description
person.
from the manager. We know a person was knocked unconscious with brass knuckles. They're like, investigation's still going. I mean, maybe it's a deep fake. We'll never know. Have you seen what they're doing with AI these days?
They got real good at it.
All right. The chat room says, whoop that trick, Black. Only 2 guesses. All right. I guess you guys ran out of steam, or maybe you already know the answer. The correct answer is Black. Yeah, I do wonder if part of what's missing in this article is if the employee came into the lobby and escalated it.
Possibility.
Because it sounds like maybe the manager had de-escalated it and the employee was like, you ain't gonna just call me no whatever, and went into the lobby, and then Buddy came inside with the brass knuckles and said, actually, I am gonna call you what the fuck I called you. So maybe you need to chill out. All right, last story is sword ratchetness time. You guys know what it is. Talk about the scourge of swords.
Yeah. Somebody said a Chick-fil-A employee would have took that punch and said, my pleasure. That's how I busted out laughing.
Man arrested after drugs and large sword found concealed in e-bike.
Damn, them electronic bikes?
Yeah, they doing them in the e-bikes now. And that's a big ass sword. Yeah, that's a heavy metal sword. You know what I mean? Like, that's not no normal sword. That's a motherfucking Conan the Barbarian cosplay sword.
Edges on it and shit. I mean, it got like your regular sharp edge, but then they got like cuts and grooves
It's
in
got
it.
skulls in the hilt.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's scary as hell. The fuck you was gonna do with that?
I don't know.
A man has been arrested by Vancouver Police Department after officers allegedly uncovered a secretly stashed assortment of weapons and drugs.
Vancouver, what y'all doing up there, Canada?
Getting ready for Trump and them. Like, okay, we got some tariffs for your ass too.
Ain't that the truth?
Patrol officers are carrying out street-level drug investigation outside of the Murray Hotel on Hornby Street March 30th. When the arrest took place, VPD said in a statement on social media platform X Friday afternoon. Police say a 45-year-old man on an e-bike was arrested for alleged drug and weapon offenses. After searching his each bike, they found drugs, an open knife concealed in his handlebars, and a sword hidden along the bike's battery.
Damn.
What do you need that for?
Who is you fucking up with an e-bike?
Are you Gavin McLeod? Photographs taken on the.
I need to get up, but I don't have a car, but I don't want to walk, so I do the e-bike to get there a little quicker.
And in case I got to get to the sword brawl.
Yes.
Y'all know I got a dog popping off at 3:00. Photographs taken of the weapon show a large sword with a jagged blade and a skull motif on the handle alongside drug paraphernalia. Police said the suspect, whose name has not been released, has been charged and remains in custody. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. We'll be back throughout the week. Thank you for listening. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good